On Monday morning yesterday, in the wake of this in-depth, I showed this on Friday. Look at this. My team printed out the Atlantic article. Look at how thick this thing is. This is like, it went on and on and on. It was like a book. They've got their own book coming out today. So he held a call with CNN staffers. Apparently people phoned in. They were so anxious to hear what he was going to say about this. Says he is staying put, that he wants to earn back their trust. Reportedly said, "This news cycle and my role in it overshadowed the incredible week of reporting we just had and distracted from the work of every single journalist at CNN, and for that, I am sorry. I should not be in the news unless it's taking arrows for you. Your work is what should be written about. I will fight like hell to win back your trust." This is all just drivel. This isn't going to do it. This guy, he's been to too much therapy trying to learn exactly what to say, or read too much Roger Ailes, You Are the Message books, which are great, but only work if you're really a believer, if you're actually a disciple of Ailes. He's acting and he doesn't know what he's doing. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this is something I'm actually struggling with society-wide right now, Megyn. I don't know, maybe you are too, maybe your listeners are too, where when you picture CEOs or these big shot people, senators even, CEOs, senators, these people who are important, for lack of a better way to put it, in society. Even if I picture ones that I disagree with, I still picture people who are highly intelligent, relatively emotionally put together. You picture somebody who is accomplished and mature and put together. But I'm having a hard time adjusting to this modern society where you can rise to be the chief of CEO or chief of CNN, and really you're just a big child, and you're texting with your life coach, and you want to know if you had enough soy that day, and is your pH perfectly. So I picture the head of CNN as maybe being someone I disagree with, but being highly intelligent and switched on and ready to go. But because we have such a society that has run away from meritocracy for too long, that now you can rise to the highest levels, and probably will, by being a total goober. And that's what I see when I see Chris Licht. Does that make sense? That's what I'm feeling everywhere.
It does. That's the problem. So it's like, having grown up under Roger Ailes professionally, I know this isn't to excuse the things that ultimately brought Roger down, but I know what a leader looks like. I know somebody who can actually make a decision without consulting some focus group or poll testing or staffers around him, or even somebody above him, because the piece spends a lot of time talking about how he's really just executing the orders of the new owners and the guy in particular named David Zaslav. So he's a puppet. This is like, this guy's not a leader. If all he's doing is, throwing darts at the board and just trying to say, like, we need to be more fair and balanced. We got it wrong the last time. He needs to have a vision. And the main problem is, Jesse, apart from the failure to lead and understand leadership, I don't have to tell you that as a military guy, CNN's identity crisis starts well before Chris Licht's enter into this picture. How do you regain any viewers when you still have all these biased hosts in the chairs from which they betrayed the American people to begin with?
I think they're going to go through the same thing Bud Light is going through right now, Megyn. I've said that Bud Light's damage to its brand will be generational. It'll take a generation to fix it. CNN's going through the same thing because of how they conducted themselves, as you just pointed out, under Donald Trump. And the problem is these news organizations, they got hooked on the Trump drug. Meaning, everyone knows that our job, your job, my job, everyone's job, my job is to be interesting. I do a radio show. I do a TV show. I want people to listen. People have a million options. I want them to listen to me. I have to be interesting. CNN has a job to be interesting. Well, Trump is so interesting, whether you love or hate him, that people were watching CNN, hate watching it, to watch them trash Trump every day. So they spent 4 years not improving, not bringing in top tier talent, not bringing in people who are interesting or charismatic. You had Brian Stelter waddling into the CNN offices for 4 straight years. What are you doing? Well, that guy shouldn't be on television. But you didn't use that 4 years to improve, because you could put any idiot, you could have put a gerbil on TV to trash Trump and people would watch CNN for it. Well, eventually Trump goes back to Mar-a-Lago to play golf, and now you're stuck with this list of losers here. You haven't developed top talent. You haven't found top talent. How many talented news anchors have you seen locally, nationwide, Megyn? They're all over the place. There's talented journalists everywhere. You didn't go find them. You didn't use the scouting team. You stuck with the same group of losers, and now you want to change your image, but you have all the same losers in the building. You should probably fire everybody, is what they should do.
Well, here's the other thing. So the difference between what Chris Licht is trying to do with the CNN staff and what Roger Ailes did at Fox News that made it such a juggernaut is Roger picked the right people. Like he plucked Sean Hannity out of doing, I think it was local radio in Oklahoma, right? Very small market. Heard him, plucked him out of obscurity, made the guy a star. O'Reilly had been hosting a current affair, right? It was either a current affair or Inside Edition. I always get those two confused. And he gave him an opportunity in the prime time. We could go on. You know, I had done 1 year part-time at the ABC affiliate in Washington, D.C. when he hired me. So how did those people become well-known people, like under Roger Ailes? And would they all have had the same result under Chris Licht or Jeff Zucker? No, we wouldn't have. Because what Roger did was he hired the right people whose values he understood and whose potential star talent he could judge. And then he let them loose. Then he said, go be yourself. Do your thing. I'm not going to interfere with you. Like, I believe in you. And of course, we understood the mission of Fox News Channel was not to put the New York Times on the air. What Chris Licht is trying to do is take a bunch of avowed leftists and make them fair and balanced reporters now and try to stop them from being themselves, right? To being themselves. He's trying to undo the programming that Jeff Zucker let loose and realizing that what he really had was a bunch of wannabe MSNBC anchors. And now those horses have left the barn, and Chris Licht is trying to shove them back into the barn and fool the American people that they never left the barn and that they're totally fair and balanced on all issues and you should trust them because now they're going to say the right things. None of it works. It's a recipe for disaster, and the ratings are showing it.
They are showing it. Corporate America feels it the same way. This is what has happened, Megyn, when you're bringing all these communists into your corporation. You're bringing in foot soldiers. You're bringing in religious zealots. And you're going to now approach Don Lemon and tell Don Lemon to be more non-biased. Don Lemon can't be more non-biased. On top of being a total world-class piece of crap, Don Lemon's a foot soldier. Don Lemon sees himself as a warrior for the cause. He can't be non-biased. That's not in his being. It would be like approaching a devout, born-again Christian and telling that person, hey, I really need you to be super pro-Muslim today. All right? The person can't do it. It's not in their nature. You can't walk in, and the corporations, as I pointed out, are doing this all across the country, and they're suffering for this for many different reasons. I actually write about this in the book as well. They bring in these poisonous people, these people straight out of college or because they went to Harvard or Stanford, and they're true believers, right? They're true believers in the leftist cause. And then these corporations get frustrated when they torpedo them from the inside. Well, you're not bringing in the newest smart grad from Harvard like it's 1980. You're bringing in a communist foot soldier. You can't have a well-run corporation with these people in your corporation. It's like inviting an inoperable brain tumor into your office and then wondering why you're dying. You've got to start cutting these people out and being a lot more aggressive with censoring these people out of your business. You can't make it. They won't make it. All it takes is one of these people to blow up your corporation, Megyn, let alone if your whole Friday night lineup is these dorks. You're screwed.
Mm-hmm. Especially, I'm going to give you a quote that really underlines this in 1 second, but especially because Trump is running again. Trump right now looks very much like he's going to be the Republican nominee, and we'll get to the latest polls that just dropped. And so it would be one thing to say to, let's say, the Anderson Coopers of the world, who prior to Jeff Zucker and Trump was doing a decent job of towing the line, of not letting his politics dictate every facet of his coverage. But then Jeff Zucker let, the freak flag fly. Like, you go, you be as liberal as you really are. Get Trump, be part of the resistance, which Cooper did, as well as all the primetime lineup. And now, now they're trying to ask him to be something else. Maybe Cooper could do it. Maybe Cooper could revert back to the pre-Trump Anderson Cooper. But Trump is out there again. He can't just be fair because it's like Mitt Romney running, who liberals can love. It's Trump again. There's zero chance, you tell me, of them containing their bias in trying to talk about this guy. Just look at the meltdown after the CNN town hall.
Donald Trump, the hatred of him on a broader scale has done more to damage this nation than if Trump was the Antichrist than he could have ever done himself. And a big part of that is what it's done to the media in this country. Even Jake Tapper, Megyn, speaking of CNN, you brought up Anderson Cooper. Jake Tapper, he's never been Rachel Maddow, right? He was never Don Lemon. Right. He was never one of these far left kooks. Now, he was not one of my people, but he's never been totally a nut job. But Donald Trump, you can see it. It seeps out of his pores like an angst-ridden 12-year-old girl. He cannot stand him to a level that he can't possibly speak about him. These people have convinced themselves that Trump is Hitler. They have. And so it would be like you or I trying to objectively cover Hitler. Now, that's an absurd comparison, obviously, Trump and Hitler. It's ridiculous, but these people are so ingrained with their own mental illness that that's what they've convinced themselves of. So how could Megyn Kelly sit down and ever have even a little bit of objectivity if she was covering Hitler? How could I, right? You can't.
Right.
You find the person to be so despicable that you can't even speak about them without all the hatred and bitterness coming across. That's how they all are with Trump.
Did you know that there is one phase of sleep that almost everyone fails to get enough of? And this one phase of sleep is responsible for most of your body's daily rejuvenation, repair, controlling hunger, and weight loss hormones, not to mention boosting energy. I am talking about deep sleep. Why don't most people get enough of this one most important phase of sleep? A big reason is magnesium deficiency. It's real. And over 80% of the population is deficient in magnesium. Now, before you go out and buy some rando magnesium supplement, it is important to understand that most products out there only have 1 to 2 forms of magnesium, when the reality is your body needs all 7 forms of this essential sleep mineral. That is where Magnesium Breakthrough comes in. Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 forms of magnesium designed to help calm your mind, help you fall asleep, stay asleep, that's tough, and wake up feeling refreshed. Visit magbreakthrough.com/Megyn Kelly to order now. magbreakthrough.com/Megyn Kelly. In addition to the discount that you'll get by using the promo code Megan10, there are always amazing gifts with purchase. You're going to love shopping at Buy Optimizers. Go now to magbreakthrough.com/Megyn Kelly to get your magnesium breakthrough and find out this month's gift with purchase. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.